Hello YouTube makeup lovers. So today I wanted to do a video on my top 10 favorite brushes. These are the brushes that I always reach for. I love them so much. Some of them is pretty much specific to the brand and to the type of brush, and I will make sure to tell you that for every single brush that I mentioned. But there are other brushes where one brand makes them and another brand makes one that's very similar, and I really don't care which brand I reach for. They're both great brushes. It's pretty much the style of brush that is my favorite. So I'll make sure to tell you, the brands that I like the most for that style. So I'll just be as specific as I can, but I'm definitely going to share with you guys my top 10 favorite brushes of all time that I really love and that to me are essential in doing my makeup. The first brush I'm going to share with you guys is a powder brush, and this one is specific to this brand and to this style of brush. This is the Sigma Large Powder F30 brush, but this is the one from the Mrs. Bunny collection. I really like it. It's the Sigmax fibers. I really love this brush for applying powder. I like the bristles because they're the Sigmax bristles, so they're the synthetic bristles. And I also like powder brushes that have the more natural bristles, but this is definitely the one that I reach for the most, and it is my favorite. I wish they sold this individually because I would definitely get another one from the Mrs. Bunny collection, but unfortunately this brush only comes with the kit, with the essential kit. They have it in the color changed. Now it is the baby blue with the silver ferrule, and they also have it in black with the silver ferrule. So it's the Mrs. Bunny and the Mr. Bunny, but I just really love these bristles. I love them for applying my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish, and this is my favorite powder brush. Another brush that is a favorite brush of mine, this one is also brand specific. It's this one from Sigma. This is the Angled Top Kabuki, the F84. This is my absolute favorite brush for applying foundation. I love it when I apply my liquid foundation. It goes on flawless. It blends everything out nicely. I like the angle because you can get into hard to reach areas, and it's just a great brush. The bristles are amazing. This is by far my favorite foundation brush of all times. So this next brush, I'm actually going to mention two, and I feel like I am kind of cheating because this is supposed to be a top 10 video, but this one I had to mention one additional brush just because had I done this video 2 months ago, I would have for sure only had one brush to show you, but I recently bought another one that has kind of replaced my all-time favorite. So I'm just gonna share both of them with you. The first one is the tapered brush like this. I love this brush for applying bronzer. This brush is definitely not a brand specific brush that I love. The Sigma one and the MAC one are both great. Sigma is the F25, and I also have the MAC one, which I love. So I kind of alternate between the two. Both brands are great. I just really love the shape of this brush. I think it is a very good shape for applying bronzer, and it also has so many more functions. You can even use it for powder or even for blush. So this is why this is definitely a favorite of mine. It's totally multi-purpose and it's a fabulous brush. But the only reason I want to mention this next one, this is the Chanel Powder Contour No. 2 brush, and I have been using this one a lot lately. It has replaced this one for my bronzer. This is the one that I have been using lately, and I love it. And had I done maybe this video 5 months ahead, then maybe this would have been my favorite. So I don't know. I'm torn with these two. Both are fabulous brushes, and I just really had to mention them both. So maybe it's my top 11 favorite brushes, but they're just really good. This one I really have only seen this type of brush in Chanel. Maybe there's another brand that I'm not aware of, but I do love this Chanel brush. Another brush of mine that I absolutely love and that I cannot live without, this one is this particular brand. It's the Sigma Precision Angled P84 brush. This is what it looks like. I'm so sorry that it is dirty, but this is what I use every single day. I have 2 of these, and I might even need more just because I use them all the time. I love this brush for blending in my concealer. I do apply my concealer with a brush like this, but I blend it with this. And to me, this is a brush that is much more important for concealer. I can always just apply my concealer with my finger and then blend it. So that is why this brush did not make it into my favorites. I love to use it, but it's not something that I consider a brush that I definitely need. But this one, it just blends so nicely. I love to blend in my concealer like this. I kind of pat it, like I like to use it on the sides of my nose. Just, it is a great blending brush for your concealer, and I love it. It's precise, and I cannot live without it. This is a really great concealer to blend. This is a really great brush to blend your concealer. For applying blush, my favorite brush to use is this angled brush like this. Again, this is one of those brushes that I really don't mind which brand it is. They both work great, but it's a style of brush that I favor. This is the Sigma one, and this is the MAC one. The MAC one is the one that I first originally used, but then I found the Sigma one, which was a lot less expensive than the MAC one. And I just really love both of them. They're both great quality brushes, great quality bristles, but I love this style. So it just works really, really great to apply your blush, and I just like to dab it on, and it just looks flawless. So this is always the type of brush that I like to use for my blush. These next two eye brushes are my top two favorite eye brushes of all time. These are brushes that I cannot live without to do my eye makeup. The very first one is the Sigma E55 eye shading brush. The one I like the most is the one from the Mrs. Bunny collection with the synthetic Sigmax fibers. They also have the one with the natural bristles, which I also love, but if I had to pick one of these, I would definitely pick the one from the Sigmax line, which is the Mrs. Bunny collection with the synthetic fibers. I just love the way it applies. I used to be in love with the MAC 239 brush, but when Sigma came out with the Miss Bunny collection, this brush took its place. The MAC 239 is still an amazing eye brush for packing on color, but I just like this one because it's bigger, it's a little fluffier, and it just works great for applying your color on your lid. The second brush that I cannot live without is definitely from MAC. This is the MAC 217. Sigma also has one of these, but I favor the one from MAC better. I think the bristles are a little bit nicer, and I just love it. It is the perfect size for blending your crease, and this is what I use. I have a ton of these. I always use the MAC 217 brush when doing any eye look. This next brush I cannot live without, and it's pretty much not even from a famous brand or anything. It's not a popular brand. I buy it at a local beauty supply here in Miami. It's called Gables Beauty Supply, and it is the Narrow Angle Camouflage. It is a teeny tiny little brush like this. This is the one that I love to apply my liquid eyeliner, and I also like to use it if I want to put some eyeshadow over my liner on my lower lash line, and I love it. Pretty much any angled brush can work, but I love this one because it's the smallest angled brush that I have ever found. So if you live in Miami, you can definitely find it there. I don't know where else you will be able to find that brush, but I definitely need to have a small angled brush in my collection. Sigma one, the E65, in case you're looking for an angled brush. But as you can see, it is just so much bigger than this one. I'm sure you can find a small brush like that. I mean, right now it's like all stuck together because I used it to apply my gel liner, but it is just such a teeny tiny angled brush, and I love that for applying my gel liner. This is my favorite angled brush, but there's tons of brands that have really tiny angled brushes, but for some reason this is the one that I have been using for years. I go back there and I just keep on buying them just because they're so good. I also really love this MAC 165 brush. This is a smaller tapered brush. Let me show you the large tapered just so you see the difference in size between the two. This is another brush that I think you can use for many functions. I personally like to use it for highlight just because it goes right where it's supposed to go. It doesn't spread the highlight all over your face. You can also use it for contouring and for applying blush, but I usually just use it for highlight. I also use it to set my concealer just because it gets right into the spots that it has to. I like it because it's small and it kind of controls where you apply the product. So this is a really great brush and I love it from MAC. And last but not least is this short shader brush like this. This one I'm really not brand specific with. In Sigma it is the E20 short shader. MAC it's a 214. I really love this brush. You can use it for many things. I was a little bit confused of which one to pick for my last brush, the number 10. I was in between the pencil brush, which is the MAC 219, or this one. And I went with this one just because I feel you can do more with it. I like to use this to apply some highlight color into my inner corner to brighten up my eyes. I also like to use it to blend in my liner so it doesn't look so harsh. It smudges it so nicely. And it's also a really great brush to apply some highlight under your brow. So I like it because you can use it for many things, like a lot of these brushes are that I have shown you guys. So here is my last favorite brush. So those are my top 10 favorite brushes. I love these brushes. I cannot live without them. They're absolutely fabulous for applying makeup. These are my go-to brushes of all time. I really hope that this video helped you guys out in case you're in the hunt for some new makeup brushes. And as always, thank you so much for watching Be Lounge Makeup. Bye!